Hey everybody, welcome to our first actual dive into the world of JavaScript. And let me show you a little bit about what we're going to be doing today and how we're going to be venturing into this particular world. As we have seen a little bit already, it is definitely a difficult world to live in. It's very picky and it is a lot to deal with. And hopefully, we're going to be able to go through this very carefully so we can have this make sense for you. Now, JavaScript, we've talked about HTML, CSS extensively. HTML is the backbone, CSS is the style, how it looks. JavaScript makes your page be able to do cool stuff. So the stuff that we're doing here is very much an example. However, it is interesting in its own right. So the things we're going to do is we're going to be able to change the body color. We're actually going to take and we're going to replace the title of our page with something different. We're going to make and change the background and our text color of our container. We're going to change all of our card borders. We're going to change the titles. We're going to change the body of the cards. And we're going to actually then change each card individually so that we can go and we can take these elements, identify them, and change them based on our, in this case, our demo. But in the world of real world, it is based on our needs. All right, so the things you should be able to do pretty easily at this point. We have our Web 2 Advanced Web folder, whatever it is, and we've created a folder that is called JavaScript. We have not done this. You are supposed to be doing this currently as we speak, which if you use your VS Code is super easy because on the side here you should have all your stuff. Since I'm doing a demo, I don't have it open, but hey, what can you do? So that's some of the things that we are doing. Inside of your JavaScript folder, you'll have a file called JS Intro. Hopefully you can see that clearly enough, jsintro.html. So you should create that file, and you should open that file in your code editor, and you're going to paste in your skeleton. So now for the majority of our CSS, we're not going to change this. We're really not going to worry about, at this point, how our page looks. However, we're going to change, indeed, the page title here. So we'll say JavaScript Intro. Not M JavaScript Intro, my bad. I can type, really, I can't. All right, and that's really kind of all that we need. There's going to be a couple elements here that you're going to be typing that I'm going to quickly put onto the page because I really don't want our HTML CSS portion of this to take forever. However, I also don't want to leave you lost and confused. So what we're going to do is we have our class of container. We're actually going to give this an ID as well. And Container, perfect. Pay extra attention to your spelling because our JavaScript is so picky. We don't want to screw up the spelling. So in our container here, we're going to go ahead and put an H1. This one has a class and an ID of page header. So remember IDs, we don't really use IDs super a ton. However, in JavaScript, I think it's important because it makes your life easier and makes things a little bit more simple to deal with in the beginning. So, but this one will identify these two elements as specifically this element, so we can select one element, not multiple. And then I know it says these are the same. That's okay. It should not be a problem. Actually, I know it's not a problem because I've already done this. So after this, we're going to go ahead and create a div. And we are going to create this div with a class of card-container. And inside of this, we're going to have a couple of different cards. So for our div here, we're going to give this one a class of card. And in addition to that, we're going to give this an ID of card 1. So then that way we can further identify this should we need to. Looking back, I don't know if I did it that way, but hey, whatever, right? So we have a div here, and this div is going to have an ID of card body. That actually should have a class. My bad. It's a little late. Kind of tired. Sorry. Inside, we're just going to say generic. The text we actually put in there does not matter in any way, shape, or form. Again, we're just going to replace this. And this is a pretty standard setup. We've done the setup many times before. And it's all good. Oops. So we're going to have one more div here on the bottom. And we're going to have this div be card footer. And inside there, we're just going to have an H3 with a class of card title attached to it, just like this. So let's go ahead and comment up. We have stuff. And then we'll say that the end of a card here. Ugh. My goodness gracious, I must be very tired. I can't do anything right now. All right, so we have start of a card, end of a card, coupled with our comments here. Easier to find. Let's go ahead and just comment this up right here. Of course, I forgot I copied it wrong. To go me. End of card container is what we're looking for here. And again, just so we can kind of keep everything situated. So what we're going to do, we need 3 cards. So this one will have an ID of card 2. And then we'll do it one last time, which will be card 3. So this one, since our IDs are unique and can only be in one place, if you screw that part up and you forget to change them like I have a tendency to do, then it will yell at you greatly. All right, so then the other thing that we need is the last HTML portion of this, and we'll break this up a little bit here. We'll try and make sure that it's not super a lot in each video. However, there's going to be a decent number of things to do for this. So we're going to have one more container here. And then this is going to be the button container. Button container, and inside of here what we're going to do is we're just going to have our buttons. We're going to need 9 of them all together, and for right now we'll put click me in there, and then inside of our button we just need one attribute, which is on click, which we're just going to leave blank for right now. All right, so let's copy. So you see I skipped. We're going to have 3 buttons after we style these in our CSS. We're going to have 3 buttons per row. So I just grouped them together. Does that matter? No. It just makes life better for us. So, all right, there we go. Let's just take a quick double check and see where our file is and see what this looks like right now. And it looks like complete and utter garbage, but we do see one mistake here. We have card number 1 3 times. I forgot to change that. So if we go back into our cards, we actually have 3 cards. Card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. So you can change the appropriate ones. So when it pops up, You should see card 1 title, card 2 title, card 3 title in a row. You should see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 buttons, 3 generic card text. Perfect. All right, we're good. We're rocking. So in our next video, we'll cover the CSS just to style this, and then we'll get into the JavaScript after that.